I worked in what we used to call the quiet block. It wasn't for troublemakers or loud ones. It was for inmates who didn't fight, didn't scream at night, didn't break their own fingers against the walls. They just stayed quiet, moved slow, ate everything on their tray, looked at the same spot for hours, like something had already left them behind, and they were just the shell, waiting. She was one of them. At first glance, nothing special, small, maybe 30, hair always tied up, no complaints, no outbursts, didn't even look you in the eye. But there was one thing she did every night at the same time. She wrote letters, always in the same corner of the cell, crouched down on the floor. Even though the cell had a bench and a desk, she preferred the floor. I noticed it on the second day. I was making my rounds, and she was sitting there, scribbling something on a piece of paper in the dim light. I figured she was writing home, nothing unusual, but then I noticed she always used the same envelope, white, clean, untouched. On the back, no address, no name, just a line in neat handwriting. To my son, 7 years old. She rewrote it every day, the whole letter, from scratch. At first, I thought, maybe it's just her way of coping. Everyone in here has their thing. Some count their steps, some talk to their reflections, she wrote. But I realized later, she wasn't just writing, she was whispering, softly, like reading the letter out loud to someone who wasn't there. "Did you eat well today, sweetheart? I saw a bird fly past. You would have liked it." Her voice was flat. No emotion. Not even when she wrote sad things. No tears, no trembling. Just calm, steady words. Like she truly believed he was out there. I asked another guard about her. He shrugged, said she was new, quiet, never caused trouble. Her file? Old case. Something involving harm. But no mention of a child. Nothing. No family, no listed relatives. Just blank. So I kept watching. Every night, clean paper, same envelope, same words. Once during inspection, I caught her murmuring, "I know you're upset I didn't come. I miss you too." That moment, it stayed with me. It felt wrong, not fake, not crazy, just like something sacred, like she really expected a response. Or maybe she already heard it, just didn't want anyone else to know. One night, while she was in the shower, I opened her locker, just once. I found a neat stack of those letters, dozens, all the same. I read one. It was peaceful, simple. A mother talking about soup, birds, reading stories, but she was in here. And the boy? He wasn't listed anywhere. I checked the system, looked through her entire file. Nothing, no child, no birth record, no custody. Even her cellmate said she never talked about having a son, only wrote, as if he only existed on paper. Still, she wrote, smiling sometimes, softly whispering as her pen moved. And I stood by the door, watching, not knowing whether I should pity her, fear her, or just leave her alone. After that night, I didn't try to go through her things again. Not out of fear, out of respect, maybe, or something else. Hard to explain. Those letters, they were like air to her. I realized that when she got sick, really sick, barely moved, coughed so hard it echoed through the door. The nurse came, offered injections. She refused, didn't complain, just stared at the ceiling. Day 1, day 2. By the third, she didn't eat. I thought, maybe tonight there won't be a letter. She couldn't even sit up. But after lights out, when the hallway was dim and quiet, I heard it. The faint rustle. Slow, uneven. I checked through the slit. She was on the floor, facing the wall, a sheet of paper under her trembling hand. The pen kept slipping, but she kept writing, on her stomach, one hand dragging each letter like it mattered more than anything. And even then, at the top, to my son, 7 years old. I stopped wondering why she did it, but new questions started. Where did this all come from? Why didn't anyone visit her? No letters, no calls, not even a lawyer. One day, I found the courage. She was by the window. I asked, "Is he real?" She didn't flinch, didn't look scared, just turned and said, "Of course." That was it. No smile, no doubt, just calm. I asked again, "Where is he now?" She replied in a whisper, "Somewhere better," then turned back to the window. That was the end of it. After that, I started noticing other things. She wasn't just writing, she was waiting. Some nights she'd tuck the letter under her pillow. Others, she'd hug it like a child's toy. Once, I saw her whisper into the envelope, just a few quiet words. Then she sealed it, gently, and placed it in her locker. I checked her records again. Everything. Court documents, medical files, nothing. No child, no birth, no adoption, no custody. As if he existed only on paper. But it didn't feel fake. I'd seen fakers, people looking for pity. She wasn't like that. She didn't want anyone to know. She wasn't putting on a show. She lived with him, every day, quietly, alone, on the page. At some point, I started waiting for the letters too. If she skipped a night, it bothered me, like something was off, like a ritual had been broken, like something important had gone missing. She recovered, slowly, body weak, but her hands, they kept writing. Every night, sometimes shaky, sometimes calm, but always letters, always. To my son, 7 years old. And I stood at the door, watching, not blinking. When you work in the same place for years, things start to blur. The yelling, the chemical smell, the jangle of keys, they become background noise. Even the faces start to blend. But not hers. She stayed sharp, not because of what she said, but because of the silence around her. A silence you could feel through the door. After she got sick and still kept writing, something shifted in me. It wasn't pity, it wasn't curiosity. It was this uneasy sense that I was missing something. That she wasn't just a person, but a fragment, a leftover from something else. I needed answers. First, I pulled her file. Routine request, dry text, charges, sentence, basic summary, an argument with a neighbor, bodily harm, nothing unusual. The interviews, short, almost empty, under family, blank. Children, none. But the handwriting, it was hers, the same curved letters as in the letters. So she saw that record, saw what it said, and didn't correct it. I went further. Medical reports, psych evaluations, notes from intake, nothing. One comment read, "Stable personality, inclined to routine." Not a single mention of delusions. So, technically, nothing wrong with her. I checked the internal database. We have a closed system, flags for custody, past addresses, hospital links. I searched everything. Son, 7 years, anything, nothing came up. Her name was clean, as if her life started the moment she got arrested. Then I found something odd, an old report 6 years back. A psychologist writing a release recommendation for another inmate. There was a short note in it. Cellmate regularly writes to imaginary child. Different name, but the description, word for word, the same phrases, the same habits. Only the surname was different, very close, but not the same. I went to the physical archive, the dusty one with cardboard boxes and old files. I pulled her old case. Black and white photo, same woman, same eyes, same hair, different name, birth date off by a year, but the face, it was her. I went back to the block that night, stood at the door, watched her. She was writing again, calm, focused. Only this time, at the top of the letter, it said, "To my son, 8 years old." I didn't know what to believe anymore. Same face, different name, no trail between them. If I hadn't held the old photo in my hand myself, I'd think I imagined it, but I didn't. That night, she looked up, right at me, not with a question, not with fear, just like she knew, that I knew. And then she smiled. After that night, when she smiled at me, something changed. This wasn't just strange anymore. It felt personal, like she'd been waiting for me to find out, like the letters weren't private. They were being shown to me, carefully, deliberately, one page at a time. I started waking up at night, thinking about her, the way she wrote, the way she held the letter, the way she whispered to it. And the more I thought, the more I realized this wasn't a routine. This was a conversation. I waited until my shift, unlocked her door. She was sitting on the floor, like always, paper on her lap, fingers resting at the corners. She heard me come in, didn't turn around, just waited. I stood next to her and said, "You know, I've seen your old file." Silence, just the low hum of the vent. She didn't move, didn't speak. I continued. I saw the different name, same face, same letters. Back then, to my son, 2 years old. Now, 8. So you've been keeping track. Pause. Why did you come back? Why with a new name? She turned slowly, calm eyes. The smile was gone. Because it's quieter here. Where? I asked. Inside, she said. When I write, it goes quiet, not gone, but softer. What gets softer? She looked right at me. The voice. Then silence, as if she'd told me everything. I sat across from her. We didn't speak for a long time. Then I asked, "Did he ever really exist?" She exhaled. "I won't say, not because I don't want to, but because if I do, he might disappear completely." "But he already—" "No," she interrupted. "He's not here, but he hears. And as long as I write, he stays." She took the letter, folded it gently. "You can think I'm sick or faking. I've heard it all. Doctors, cameras, pills. But then I started writing, and it got easier." "Why every day?" I asked. She gave a faint smile. "Not like before. This one, almost kind. Because one day, he might answer." I stood. I didn't know what else to ask. Everything I'd seen, read, and verified told me he never existed. But something in her was stronger than the paperwork. At the door, I paused, looked back. She was sitting by the wall, letter on her knees, writing again. Only now, the envelope said, "To my son, 9 years old." She didn't leave in the night, didn't cause a scene, didn't resist. She was just gone. One morning, I came in, checked the roster, and her cell was empty. Bed made, locker shut, nothing out of place. That happens sometimes when someone's transferred. But even then, there's always something, a signature, a number, a name. Here, nothing, just one word in the logbook. Removed. I went to the unit supervisor. He stared at the screen for a while, then said, "Transferred. Official request from the department." "Where to?" "Undisclosed, out of our jurisdiction." "What's the reason?" "Internal handling, by another facility. Happens sometimes." I didn't buy it. This isn't intelligence work. Transfers don't happen in silence. There are protocols, codes, records. I tried pulling the directive. Access denied. Restricted. Even her digital file had changed. Her profile photo was replaced by a gray silhouette. Her name, deactivated. like someone marked her as no longer here. I asked an old officer, one of the lifers. He said, "It happens. Some inmates, they're not loud, not violent, but they make the place heavier. People like that, they get moved." Moved for being quiet? Not quiet, too still, too in their own world. Someone notices, someone higher up, and then, click, they're gone. She didn't scream, didn't complain. She just wrote, every day, letters to a boy no one ever found. Maybe that was enough. I checked her locker. Inside, one thin folder, 5 letters, sealed. Not like before, no names, no message on the front. Just 5 identical, blank envelopes. I took one, left the others. Didn't know why. I tried finding out where they sent her. An old contact in records ran the name. He called me back the next day, said, "She was transferred to Facility 715, special housing, high control. Medical? No, not technically. Mixed profiles, special population, kind of like isolation, but legal. Who authorized it? There's no signature, just a stamp." What stamp? Profile deactivated, no subject notification. That's it. I didn't ask again. She wasn't killed, wasn't sent to a hospital. She was moved to a place where no one asks too many questions, where no one cares if she wrote to someone every day, where names don't matter, just numbers. It's been 2 months, her cell's occupied now. New voices, new routines. But sometimes I stand outside, same shift, same corridor, and I swear I see her. Not clearly, not full, just the posture, the quiet, the shape of someone writing on the floor. No more letters, no one writes, no one waits. But I kept that envelope, just one, still sealed, still blank. I keep it at home. Some nights I take it out, put it on the table. I never open it, just look at it. I don't know what's inside. Maybe nothing, maybe everything. And if one night I hear something, not even a voice, just the faintest sound, a breath, a movement, I'll answer, even just a few words.